I've had a few days to play around with the not-so-new Railgun in GTA Online, along with Riley Black Fox and Patrick, aka The Professional. Check out their videos, link below in the description section. They both did very thorough, in-depth guides and reviews regarding the Railgun. Before we get into the Railgun, let's go over the poll I put out a few days ago. By the way, thanks to everybody that voted. Should the Railgun be in GTA Online? Surprisingly, 69% of you voted yes, and 31% of you voted no. So it seems like the majority of players in GTA Online are actually happy that the Railgun is in the game, or at the very least, they don't really have any issue with it. So the Railgun is from GTA 5, so that's why it's not so new. The price tag for the Railgun at the gun van is about $600,000, and it's surprisingly not OP, as a lot of people had feared initially from my own testing of it, as well as Riley's and The Professionals and a few others out there. It's not that bad. It's one of those rare occasions where Rockstar actually balanced something almost properly. One thing I like about it is the fact that it is free aim only. You cannot auto-lock on NPCs or other players, making the Railgun a bit more challenging to use. One of the things I enjoy about going into previous GTAs, like the 3D eras, GTA 4, including GTA 5, and on occasion GTA Online over the years, is just going into a friend lobby and causing some want and destruction, whether it's in a tank or a militarized aircraft or with heavy weapons like grenade launchers, RPGs, miniguns, etc., trying to get that 5-star wanted level and see how long I last until the cops finally game into me. Thanks to some improvements in GTA Online, for example, Criminal Enterprise's quality of life improvements, the ability to access your health and armor via the weapon wheel makes it a lot easier and quicker to stack up armor, as well as boost your health back up whenever you're in such a firefight against Los Santos's finest, and extends such rampages that you can carry out while rampaging in GTA Online. So combined with the ability to quickly get food and body armor, you also have the interaction menu for ammo for your Railgun, and that's a little bit more clanky. It takes a few more seconds to do that, but at least there's an easy way for you to get ammo for the Railgun, other than going all the way over to the gun van, wherever it happens to be on that particular day. The things that work best with the Railgun are destroying MPC vehicles, except for the Rhino tank. It took me quite a few shots to destroy the Rhino tank at Fort Z, and if you start a firefight at Fort Z on foot, you're going to have a bad time. Interestingly, I shot at a cargo bob a few times, and I think it took me about 3 shots to down a cargo bob. So there's some armor on a cargo bob, which would make sense since it's an extremely slow helicopter. But yeah, the Rhino tank is going to destroy you if you try to go up against it with just a Railgun. For a lot of players that are tired of being griefed by lasers and hydras, good news, the Railgun can one-shot a laser. It takes about 2-3 shots to destroy a hydra for some reason, but laser griefers are not going to have a fun time going up against the Railgun, and it is most definitely a helicopter killer. Now, there are some helicopters like the Cargo Bob, the Akula, the Hunter, that takes a bit more damage to bring down with a Railgun, but the Buzzard, Sparrow, the Civi helicopters, easily destroyed by a Railgun. Those are the particular vehicles that you're going to have a lot of fun destroying with a Railgun, especially the police helicopters when they're coming after you, the squad cars, the SUVs. That's always a good time versus the Railgun. But it's the other vehicles in the game that you're probably going to want to use something else to go up against. The Railgun does not do so well against the armored vehicles, such as the Night Sharks, the Kanjalis, the agency vehicles like the Buffalo STX, the Ominous, etc. And I would not try to take the Railgun up against somebody in ballistic armor with a minigun, because it takes so many shots from the Railgun to destroy somebody in a ballistic armor, and they have that minigun, and so they're going to be able to cut you down over and over and over again. It's going to be very, very one-sided if you try to take on somebody using the body armor in conjunction with the minigun. Other jets and planes besides the laser and Hydra, like for example the Pyro, if you're going up against a really good pilot like Riley, you're also going to have a bad time because she knows how to stay out of range of the Railgun and give you some death from above. So there's quite a few planes that can take a bit more damage from the Railgun than the laser and Hydra. For example, the Pyro, I think the B-11 does quite well sometimes, unless there's a glitch that destroys it one shot. So you really don't want to try and use this to destroy any other jets besides lasers and maybe Hydras. It's very unfortunate that this is not the broomstick killer. A lot of players, including myself, were hoping it would be because it is free aim. It is a lot more challenging to destroy a broomstick unless it's coming straight for you and it's basically a noob broomstick pilot. Or you just get lucky and they happen to pause in the air at the right time and you get your shot on them. But for the most part, it's going to be rather difficult to down broomsticks. And finally, it's not so good against NPCs like cops or the military trying to swarm you, or Merryweather, or players on the ground, especially players that are very good at PvP. They're going to destroy you if you're trying to combat them with the Railgun. And that goes for any players that are using armored vehicles. It takes a quick minute to destroy a Night Shark, a Buffalo STX with the Railgun, and by the time you get a few shots on them, they've either escaped or they've run you over, blown you up, gunned you down. You get the idea. Is it going to give you some fun for a few minutes or a few hours in GTA Online? Yeah, it probably will if you're into carrying out some wanton destruction and rampage like I do every now and then. It's just very nice to have something of a psychological mental punching bag, and that's basically what I use Los Santos' Finest for on rare occasions, along with the rest of the citizens of Los Santos and southern San Andreas. But here's the problem with the Railgun. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's a not so new weapon. It's been in GTA 5, well, forever. And most of us that wanted to play around with the Railgun and carry out wanton destruction as Michael, Trevor, or Franklin have already done that. It's nothing new. All Rockstar did was kind of rebalance the Railgun a little bit. I'm glad they put forth some effort because a lot of times it doesn't really seem like they do, and then release it to GTA Online via the gun van. So yes, it is fun against MPC vehicles, specifically cop cars, cop helicopters, as well as taking out laser griefers. It's also a helicopter killer, but against everything else, there's better tools in the weapon wheel for you to use, or better vehicles to combat other players than trying to take them on with the Railgun. But I'm sure there's going to be some out there that are going to try to master using the Railgun, and I wish them all the best, and they may become pro Railgun users, and they may end up having a lot more success at downing broomsticks as well as other players. But going up against an armored vehicle or somebody in ballistic armor, it's going to take quite a few Railgun shots to take them out. And that's the problem, because every shot you're shooting at them, you have to have this, 2-3 second reload speed before you fire off the next shot. And you only can carry 20 rounds at a time. And the other player has plenty of time to either escape or destroy you. I feel like Rockstar has decided to add the Railgun as a weapon for us to use after all these years, over 9 years now, because they're running out of ideas, they're running out of weapons, and they have to take resources from GTA 5 and kind of repurpose them a little bit for GTA Online, because most of their effort is obviously being focused on production for GTA 6. It's a lot easier to just take an older weapon like the Railgun from story mode, tweak it a little bit, and then put it in GTA Online. And why is it not in the gun shop in Ammunition? If you go to Ammunition and look at the wall, there's no room for any other weapons at Ammunition. So that's why Rockstar had to bring in the gun van. Very similar to how Nico got weapons in GTA 4. So once again, an interesting idea, but not exactly a new concept in the Grand Theft Auto franchise. There's a lot of repurposing that's going on recently with GTA 5 content and even cutscenes. I'm citing spoilers from Los Santos Drug Wars Final Dose. It's out there. There's at least one or two scenes that you could clearly see were just reskinned from cutscenes from GTA 5. But I don't want to talk about that because spoilers. So clearly Rockstar is at the very bottom of the barrel, and they're just grabbing whatever they can from GTA 5 for quote-unquote new content in GTA Online, which includes the Railgun. Yeah, it's fun to use for a few minutes or a few hours, but eventually I think players will get bored with the Railgun unless there's just some of you out there that are having a blast with it and just really trying to master it. Good for you, I suppose. But overall, yeah, it's an older weapon, and it doesn't surprise me at this point that they added it. There was a time when they would have never added the Railgun, just like they were never going to add the Duke of Death of all vehicles to GT Online. They even had that blacklisted. But times have changed over the years when it comes to what originally Rockstar was going to add to GT Online and what they're now throwing in there. Everything except for the kitchen sink, which is probably coming soon. Your thoughts, views, and opinions regarding the Railgun, as always, welcome below in the comment section.